All right, so I've had an interest in cooking meat via the sous vide approach, and a buddy of mine had gotten me a device that I could use. I'm not sure I like it more than I like doing a reverse sear. So today's going to be the test: sous vide versus reverse sear. All right, so I went to the local butcher and I picked up two Delmonico steaks. They're almost identical, and that's going to be my test. I'm going to throw one in the sous vide in the water, give it a water bath for about 4 hours. Then I'm going to throw the other steak on, do a reverse sear, and we're just going to test it, see which one works out better. So here's the steaks to give you an idea of what we're looking at. These look awesome. So here are the steaks. You can see they're almost identical, right? They look great. Thickness is about the same. So we're going to season them the same. The one that's going in the water bath is going to get prepped now. The one that's going to be reverse seared, that's going to be done later. So I'm going to set one of these aside. Steak seasoning wise, I'm just using this steak seasoning. I like it. It's salty. It's got good flavor to it. It's Baltimore based, so I'm into it. Oil. I need oil. So normally I don't put the oil on the steak that's going in the bath, but I want these to cook exactly the same in terms of seasoning and prep. So put a little oil on this one. There we go. It's just gonna help the seasoning bind to the meat. But I don't know, I haven't done the sous vide a ton, so I don't know if the oil is going to hinder the cooking process in the water bath. But again, to make this as standard as possible, we're gonna do everything the same. Now, we end up with a pretty well-seasoned steak. Looks good. All sides are completely covered, and that's how I'm gonna do the reverse sear as well. That's how I've always done the reverse sear. I got into a discussion with my buddy who's done this a lot more than I have, because I'm a big advocate for the reverse sear. The steaks have been awesome. I think the color on the inside is just perfect with the reverse sear. So we're going to give this a whirl. So now I'm gonna stick these in my food saver. I already have a bag prepped. The steak is going in. Steak is in. We're gonna seal it. Vacuum, seal, and in the bath. Let me get this sealed and I'll show you what the water bath looks like. So here we have the steak, here we have the water bath. The temperature is set to 135. My goal with both of these steaks is 135, high end to medium rare. So the nice thing I do find with cooking things sous vide is it's super easy. Vacuum seal the food, it goes in this water bath. Cleanup is super easy, and you can't really overcook the steak. Once it gets to 135, it'll sit there for hours. So it's super easy, it's super convenient. The struggle I have sometimes when I'm smoking meat or I'm cooking on the grill is all your sides are done. Maybe you're doing some vegetables, potatoes, and you're cooking those in the oven. That's all done, and you're waiting on the steak to get to temperature. Or the steak's done and the other sides aren't. So cooking this method is nice because you don't have to worry about the meat. I can cook the meat to 135. I'm gonna put this in the bath for 4 hours, but I could leave it in there for 10 hours and go about my business with cooking the sides and doing all that. And then when I'm ready to put everything together, I just pull the meat out, sear it, and I'm done. So We're gonna put it in the bath. It's at 135, and it's as easy as dropping it in, and it's gonna sit in there for 4 hours. And so it's 2:30 roughly right now. Probably around 6:30, I'll get things prepped with the Reverse Sear. So I'll be back. All right, it's almost 6 o'clock, but it's getting dark, darker than I thought. So what my plan is, I'm gonna walk you through how I'm gonna reverse sear this steak. So in the event it gets too dark, you know what I'm gonna do and you know what the process is. So right now, the Yoder is heating up. I'm cooking on a Yoder YS640. I'm taking the temperature to 225. Once it's time to put the steak on, I'm gonna put the steak right in the middle on the top rack. That way it'll cook really even and it won't get any residual heat from the firebox. I'm using Fireboard meat thermometers. If you do not have these, you need to check them out. They're incredible. They run on Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and you can get updates for if you were at the grocery store, wherever you are. I'm gonna smoke the meat to about 115. Once it hits 115, I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna move it over to my Weber kettle grill. I'm gonna take the chimney, fill it with charcoal, and I'm gonna get this thing piping hot. I am not gonna dump the charcoal out of the chimney. I'm gonna take a grate and lay it right on top. So once the meat's done, I can pull it and put it right on top of this. This is gonna be red hot, so I'll get a great sear. The Yoder does have a 2-piece diffusion plate. And in the past, what I've done is take the steak off, take it inside to let it rest, crank up the temperature, pull out the door, and seared it directly on this grill. It's a great option. What I like to do is pull it off and move it directly to another heat source so I don't have to wait for it to get hot. If you only had one grill, this is a great option and you can cook burgers, everything on it. But for me, for this purpose, I'm going to smoke on here. I'm gonna sear using this chimney. So that's it. I'm gonna wait for this thing to heat up and hopefully it's not too dark. I can show you what I'm doing, but in the event it is, I apologize. All right, the steak is off the smoker. As you can see, we're getting some additional color on it. So this is just for sear marks and to bring the temperature up a little bit more. But other than that, we're done. All right, I'm pulling out the steak that's in the water bath and we're gonna sear it. So let me get it. So, steak in a bag. It doesn't look appetizing, it never does. To do this properly, you need to pat dry the steak before you sear it. You can see the steak just looks gray. It doesn't look overly appetizing, but we're gonna get some color on it. So let me fix this, hold on. All right, to get this thing going, we're gonna use this device right here. This is how I'm gonna get grill marks on the steak. This will also help render off some of the fat. And then we're gonna flip it. Pat it dry. So the only difference between the two steaks is I'm gonna throw a little bit of butter on this steak and not the one from the smoker. There you go. Now let's look at the two. All right, these are both steaks. This steak on this side is the reverse sear steak. This steak is the sous vide steak. We're gonna cut into these. So this is the sous vide steak. See how pink it is? It just cooked perfectly. And this is the reverse sear steak. If it'll zoom in. There you go. Also cooked perfectly. 135. So we're gonna taste these and see which one tastes better. All right, so now the taste test. So we have both steaks. We're each gonna try, give you a piece.
Thank you.
It's my mother-in-law, Robbie, Cameron. And so this is the first steak. I'm not gonna tell you which one it is, so try this.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Very, very good.
This is the other steak.
I'm scared.
Why?
I don't know.
Are you
Try
ready?
this one.
Uh,
First or second?
First.
You like the first?
I like the first two.
This
You like the first?
Like, tastes like the grill.
The grill?
Like, I don't know. I haven't eaten a grill, obviously. But like, it tastes smoky.
Tastes smoky?
Yeah.
Do you think the same thing? The second one tastes smokier? Want to try another piece?
Something about the second one
It's different.
has a little bit
I want
of,
more than the first one.
like maybe, did you use one of those little burnt flame things on the second one?
Nope. So the second one is
Okay.
our reverse sear steak. It's the one that was on the grill.
Really?
The first one's the sous vide.
You're kidding.
Yep. So you like the first one?
Mm-hmm.
First one?
Yep.
Hands down.
I like the smokiness of the second one, but they're both good. So
I'm really shocked
good. All right.
and delighted.
Good. Well, now we're gonna eat, so we'll talk to you later. All right, dinner is done, kitchen is cleaned up, and we're gonna end off with a Dogfish Head Sea Quench Ale. If you like sour beers, this thing's awesome. So this was a fun little comparison, and I wanted to kind of wrap it up. I was really surprised with the results. I would have bet going into this that the reverse sear was gonna win hands down because the smoky flavor, the sear on the grill. But as you can see, 2 of the 3 preferred the sous vide method. And this Anova sous vide cooker is awesome. It just sits in the water bath as you saw. You can control the temperature here. It's Wi-Fi enabled, so you could control it with your phone. And you just put the meat in and let it sit. Meat you let sit for about 4 hours, fish like 30 minutes. The downside is when it comes out, it doesn't look great. It doesn't have the color you would expect from a steak, and that's why you need to sear it either with like a blowtorch, or what you could do is what I did with the reverse sear. Sous vide it, pull it out, then throw it over charcoal just to get color. But if you did that, you'd have to take the temperature down as it's gonna get hotter as you put it on the grill. But personally, I prefer the reverse sear. I like the smoky flavor. I like the color it has, but 2 of the 3 prefer the sous vide. So fun little comparison. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. If you've tried sous vide, if you've done anything that you'd recommend, let me know. I primarily use my smoker, and this is new to me. So we'll try some other things and test them down the road. Hopefully you enjoyed it. See you next time.